subject. Nuggets versus the Heat, the NBA Finals. Let's give a recap. Obviously, um, Denver Nuggets are the NBA champions. They have been able to accomplish history in winning the first championship in 56 years as they've been a franchise in the NBA. So this is their first one. Um, I just think that you know um, they definitely proved a lot of people wrong. A lot of a lot of doubters, a lot of people who didn't a lot of people didn't believe in their abilities throughout the season. Um, they was what number one in the Western Conference for the majority of the year. Um, and it was some times where I think they weren't first, but it was very, very, very you know small times throughout the season, but for the most part, they was number one throughout the West, and a lot of people didn't still doubted the fact that they could win the championship. Still doubted, Nikola Jokic was the level player that he really is. He could, you know, a lot of people thought it was a fluke. People didn't think that he deserved to be a what, you know, ongoing three-time uh, NBA champion. I mean, NBA champion, three-time MVP, and so I think he proved a lot of that wrong with his play throughout the playoffs. Leading in points, rebounds, assists uh, throughout the playoffs, averaging more than 20 plus points. Uh, and with if you average it out, a triple double. So, um, having a dominating, he played very well, obviously, throughout the season. But for me, I think he upgraded, and that's what you want from, I think, your franchise kind of players, the superstars. I think what makes the certain players taking that leap in terms of like their status in terms of in the league star, the superstar type of thing is the ability to um like your game going up in the playoffs. There should be an improvement in terms of your game and your stats, what I'm saying, from regular season to postseason. It's got to be in my opinion, upgrading your play, and that's what catapults, that separates the superstars from the stars. In my opinion, I think Nikola Jokic did a good job of that. Jamal Murray, played really good throughout the the, the series and the playoffs. Um, Multiple 10 plus assist games, had a game with zero turnovers. Um, he definitely had a really great series and playoff run. I think they really, Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray really established, that the dynamic duo ness of, you know, them both on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of people now crowning them as the best duo. I don't think, at the start of this season, people were, mentioning Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic as one of the top premier duos. I think there's a lot of other, duos that most people would have said were quote unquote better or whatever. But, obviously we've seen what, the impact that these two guys could have um, on the floor. And um, Porter Jr. hitting big shots, and Gordon really, stepping up his game, had 27 points, you know, and the game 4 game. All right, stepped up, you know, Kentavious Caldwell Pope hitting big shots. Um, Jeff Green, so veteran presence. So these guys stepped up big time for him. Um, Christian Braun, did stepped in when he could. Um, great couple years for him. He's a national champion and now NBA champion. So um, yeah, the Denver Nuggets. They're definitely going to be a force to be, in this league for the next couple years, um, competing at this level in terms of um, title contention, right? They're going to be in that mix, I believe, strongly with for sure in the next 4 or 5 years. If they can keep, of course, the main core, the main duo, Murray and Jokic together. Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon, really, I think those are the two players that they really need to do some, one of those two guys have to take another leap. I'm looking for one of those two guys to really take another leap in terms of their playing career this up and coming season. But they can keep those core guys and obviously have some solid role players around them. They're going to be competing at this level for some years to come. And with having a player like Nikola Jokic on the team, a superstar player who's not necessarily relying on his athleticism to be effective. He, he's a guy who can be great for the next, and possibly, because I see him kind of following that Tim Duncan mode. I could see Joker being with Nuggets for the next maybe 10 years. It's in his 8th season. This is the prime of his career. He could definitely do another 10 years in this league and to still play with the Denver Nuggets. And I think he could play at a high level for the next 10 years. And so, yeah, to get into the Miami Heat, who, had a very, very, very good season for a team, definitely overachieved for most people, for most critics out there will tell you. They definitely, Eric Spoelstra really got the most out of his guys. Jimmy Butler, put it out on the line. The Gabe Vincent, Strus, Caleb Martin, these guys stepped up big in the playoffs, and can't discredit them. I think the recent talks have been about potentially Dame Lillard coming to Miami. That can be a significant upgrade. That can be potentially the piece they need to get over the hump, win that championship. And so, um, for me, I think Miami really needs to, consider what, their options, what they got going on, and try to bring a guy like a Dame Lillard on the team, who has, even said he has expressed interest and, you know, has a pretty solid relationship with Bam. Um, Him and Jimmy Butler are kind of that same club, so to speak. So I think it could work. I think it could be a very, very, very good option for the Miami Heat. But you know, this is gonna be a team that's gonna be competing um, at this level, for the next couple of years as well too. Um, Maybe not as you know long as the Denver Nuggets because they're a relatively young team. Jimmy Butler is relatively later in his career. If they bring a Dan Lillard on the team, still in their prime, but they're relatively later in their careers. Um, you know, so the run won't be too long, but they're gonna be competing at this level at least for the next 2 to 3 years. You know, um, yeah. So, and I gotta give acknowledge fact I did pick the Denver Nuggets to win this series. So, finally got the last round got both my picks wrong, and I gotta acknowledge this fact. I held myself accountable for that. I held myself accountable for the fact I did get it correct this time, and so yeah, so uh,